The box hops and dances as if an energetic toad lives within it. A large key protrudes from the side.
Die, Isbiel!
The swaying toy sports a grin so evil, it might have spawned from the void itself. But it's not the smile that disturbs you most. It's the ominous ticking of the mechanism beneath.
The doctor sends his regards!
I need to get clever with this lock. Poor soul. Artifacts, protected by magical shields. Nice. When you unlock one, you lock the other. Good find. It's stuck fast. It won't move. Lucky find. ready. The golem's being sustained by source. Locked. Good find. I've spotted something. Hurts, doesn't it?
The helmet of the devourer resembles a dragon's head. Longing pins you in place as ash begins to fall from above. The world is a crudely woven tapestry, but you are an artisan beyond compare. You want, no, need, the finest craftsmanship. The longing turns sharp, obsessive. You must return to your workshop. As the pangs fade, someone else lingers near you.
Are going to be the death of me.
The spirit of an older man observes the nearby painter. He tut-tuts to himself.
That poor boy is wasting his time, walking upon well-trodden paths. I thought I'd raised him better than that. Did you tell him what you thought of his little picture? Unfortunate, isn't it? He isn't without talent, but he never overcame the fact that he was my son. Of course, my finest work. I drew upon everything I had for that piece. All of my skills, my experience. Why, there's even my own blood and sauce on that canvas. They are part of a private collection now, Lord Kem's. Perhaps he'll grant you a viewing, but I doubt it. There's a reproduction on display at the cathedral. Not the same as viewing the original, of course, but it gives the great... Of course I am.
Something closed the door. Looking at this, I'd say we're close to Lucian's body. What's this? I found something.
There's a curious-looking panel discreetly nestled upon the wall. Upon it is a lone button. There's a slot in the center of the button. It looks like something should be placed in it. The amulet is a perfect fit, though nothing more happens. Perhaps it's missing something. The button slowly sinks into the wall, as if pushed by an invisible hand. A moment passes, and the amulet falls from the slot. All is the same as before. Along, nothing happens.
My amulet is glowing with source.
There's a curious-looking panel discreetly nestled upon the wall. Upon it is the amulet is a perfect fit, though there's a slot in the center of the button. The button slowly... A moment passes. A long, empty moment ticks by. Something's not right. Nothing happens. There's a curious-looking panel discreetly nestled upon the wall. The amulet is a perfect fit. Nothing happens. The button slowly... A moment passes, and the amulet falls. A long, empty... Nothing happens.
already brimming with source. It cannot contain more.
There's a curious-looking panel discreetly nestled upon... The amulet fits the slot.
The buttons slowly sink.
The source fades from the amulet, consumed by the inner mechanisms of the button. Gears turn behind the ancient walls, almost like they're acknowledging the words you spoke. A nearby hatch in the floor unseals itself.
Recognize the approaching child. He is hardly a picture of innocence. His cheeks aren't rosy, but sallow. His smile isn't curious, but crooked.
Surprise! You left a little boy to rot in a prison cage, and yet I made it here. What do you say to that, eh? What do you say to that? I'm not a little boy. I'm not. I mean, I can see why you'd think I am.
His voice changes, becomes deeper, rougher, older.
Really, I'm not. Say hello to your mistake.
A razor smile unfolds upon his lips, but his eyes are gone. The light in them has turned black. Any time he may have had as a sane and functional human is well and truly over.
Yes, my Lord Lucian, I'm coming. I'll free you. I'll protect you. I'm coming, my lord. I'm coming, Lucian. I'm coming. I'm coming right after I...
Well, that's one problem solved. Now on to the next.
They called me a mistake! Prepare yourself.
I'll yield to none.
yourself.
with you. I sense something nearby. No sign of Lucian's body. Has Dallas beaten us here?
The Blessed Altar seems to want to be touched. The altar seems to respond. Beyond it, something creaks, as if the pipework was moving. The sound comes from beyond the altar, but also echoes and gurgles behind. A blessed stone altar. The cool stone seems to beg to be touched. In the space beyond the altar, the pipework shifts. In the pit beyond, things move once more.
Peering through the iron grating, you can see how it connects to the strange pipework beneath. A blessed stone altar.
In the space beyond the altar, the altar seems to respond. Beyond it, something creaks, as if the pipework was moving.
A blessed stone altar.
The cool stone. In the space beyond the altar, the pipework. The altar seems to respond.
A blessed stone altar.
In the space beyond the altar, the pipework shifts. The altar seems to respond. A blessed stone altar. In the space beyond the altar, the altar seems to respond.
Venture no farther, only death lies beyond. Blood need not be spilled, bones need not be broken. Preserve thyself and flee. To cross this threshold is to plunge into thy grave. Do not decide in haste. Very well, embrace thy fate.
Careful now. That's a trap. Look out. I see a trap nearby. Careful. I spotted a trap. That lever did something. I could feel it. Careful. I spotted a trap. It feels like that lever did something.
Subject, please make yourself known. Subject of interest lost.
Careful now. That's a trap. Something happened, I think. Careful. I spotted a trap. It worked. I heard gears moving.
Moving to reinforcement deployer.
What's happening? That must have been the last lever. Good find. Careful now. That's a trap.
The truth hangs heavy upon the air itself, unspoken. This is the point of no return. Somewhere beyond this point, you shall be undone, or you shall ascend. There is...
You come here often. I don't know what you did, but you just released a source flood. I thought I'd come and see what all the fuss was about. Should have known you were getting yourself into trouble. Looks like the big moment has finally arrived. I will do everything I can to support you, Godwoken. I will pray for you. I think you'll need it. You'd think, right? But no, this is your moment. Still, do not underestimate my presence. This is a place of incredible power where a single prayer holds the weight of thousands. So, I will pray for you. Your heart and soul will fill as quickly as they're drained. Consider it a taste of your divine future. The people will pray for you. In turn, they'll trust you to do right by them, as I'm trusting you to do now. Of course, it's up to you whether or not to listen. I know how I'd respond, but you do you.
Melody wearily chuckles to herself, then bows her head in a show of unexpected but sincere reverence.
Looks like my investment's paid off after all.
You've shown me kindness in the face of my sins. My worship is the least I can offer.
Now go. Ривеллон needs a new divine.
If I'm God-woken. Dallas said you would come, old friend. You were always hard as diamonds, and twice as bright. Your divine welcomes you.
The traitor himself, the divine you once selflessly served, the one you thought dead, lords over the chamber from a granite throne. He moves to speak, but it's Wiedemann's voice that next pierces the air.
What a twist.
Lucian frowns at Wiedemann, then bestows a benevolent smile upon you. All that you know of him flashes across the panorama of your mind.
I underestimated you, Godwoken. You have proven to be a formidable foe. You have my respect.
Respect? Indeed.
Lucian's gaze rests upon you and goes through you. He takes your measure entirely.
Lucian, we should tell him the truth.
Yes, I agree. It is time we dropped our masks.
Dallas nods, then reaches for the sides of her head. Where there was one face, suddenly there are four. She takes off the mask of the shapeshifter. A skull is revealed, bejeweled and ancient as the void.
I am eternal.
Aren't they just full of surprises?
Fear not, old friend. Dallas is on the side of all that is good. She is helping me rid Ривеллон of the influence of the Source. Listen to her.
I shall tell you the tale as I told it to Lucian. Long ago, the scholar Fane discovered that the veil between the world and the void was made of Source. Our 7 lords desired this power.
Of course.
Silence, slave. Our king forbade the 7 to reach for this power, but they didn't listen. Instead, they rebelled and sent the king and his people into the void.
With the Source they stole from the Veil. The 7 created the races so they would have worshippers.
During their lives, worshippers collect Source. When they die, the gods feed from them. It's an ingenious system.
Our souls are nothing but vats for the Source-hungry gods.
The 7 made a mistake. By taking its source, they tore a hole in the veil, and it is through this hole that the void finds its way into our world.
The 7's lust for power let in the void. Our goal is to close the hole they created, to restore the Source to the veil. When we are done, there shall be no more Source in the world. Ривеллон will be finally free from the gods that enslave them.
My people cannot be allowed to return from the void. They are tarnished. They are void-woken. They can only bring chaos and death and...
There is more, but she hesitates to share it. Then she decides that she must.
I was a child when the God King tore my family apart. I was purged of source and left to rot in a putrid tomb. It was hell. A hell I suffered for the sins of my father. He was the one that betrayed the God King. He was the one that told the Seven the secrets of the Veil. The cruel joke of it all is that the same tomb that housed my tortured body is what sheltered me from the void. Few Eternals escaped that fate. Myself, my mother, and my father, the scholar Fane. But now I finally have revenge. Revenge on the Seven and the God King. Revenge for what they took from me. My life. My people. My mother!
The hammer's voice falters and her coolness vanishes. Every crack and rasp betrays her grief. But her next words burn not with sadness, but anger.
He never even looked for me. He never even looked for her!
Dallas, control yourself. Our purpose transcends your personal wounds.
Yes. You are right.
Dallas's reasons weren't mine to question. All that ever mattered to me was peace. Peace for Ривеллон. Peace for me, whatever the means. And now, we are on the precipice.
She sacrificed herself for the betterment of Ривеллон. She didn't do it willingly, mind you. Curiosity led her to the tomb. My hunger for source took care of the rest. I presume her bones remained there. And then I took her place. Face rippers are such marvels, aren't they? It didn't take long to realize that Lucian was the key to my vengeance, and I was the key to the salvation of Ривеллон.
While Dallas sought the Eteran, I started draining the gods of their source.
Slurp, slurp, slurp.
One more word from you, and I shall use the leash.
I had to hide from the gods. So I had the walls of this crypt equipped with tenebrium and protections put in place. It worked. Everyone, even the gods, thought me dead. As divine, I was created, empowered to stop the void. I was the avatar of the Seven, their strength and their weakness. My bond to them allowed me to drain them of their source.
Maggot! I am no slave.
With a flick of her wrist, Dallas sends a jolt through Brachus's body. He writhes in pain.
Don't worry, he's well under control. He has made a fine servant. Isn't that right? Ingrate. I used him to find the Eteran. When we're done, I'll release him from his duty and free him from his pain. Until then...
Dallas punctuates her statement with another wrist flip. Brachus shudders, but his lips remain curled in a self-satisfied grimace.
Yes, in a sense. When the death fog was unleashed, many elves died. With fewer elves to worship him, Tias and Dilius weakened. This gave the God King his first real foothold back in the world. To strengthen himself, he sent his Voidwoken, the remnants of my people, to hunt down the sorcerers seeking to reclaim their source.
The Voidwoken. Disgusting things. They ravaged the land they touched and infected the air they breathed. They were also an incredible stroke of luck. You see, blaming the sorcerers for Voidwoken made them easier to capture.
The Eteran now contains almost all of the source the Seven stole. Soon, we will be able to heal the Veil.
The void shall be banished, and I, Lucian the Divine, shall return from the dead. A false divine, of course. I shall have no power. But the world will not know this. I shall demand peace, and we shall have it.
The plan is almost complete.
We have made so many sacrifices, Ifan. All of us. Of ourselves and those we love. One last sacrifice is required. For the future of Ривеллон, you must surrender your source.
Decide. Be the true hero and give up your source, or be forced to submit. Like a coward. Like a slave.
There is no other way. The source of the world is required to close the veil. All of the source. We only lack yours.
Good. You understand.
The world shall not know this. I shall return from the grave, a divine without power, yet all who desire power shall fear me. I shall carry the secret of my lack of divinity. Peace shall reign. Alexander was God-woken. Once, years ago, I should have killed Damien, but instead took him as my son. Quite the mistake. Now, I was forced to kill Alexander, my blood. But once more, I could not.
The task fell to me.
And me.
As I say, one last sacrifice is required. Yours. Then let us proceed. Show some responsibility. Surrender your source.
You'll be a hero. Everyone will know of the sacrifice you'll make. Your name will be synonymous with the survival of Ривеллон. Good.
Yes, very good.
She raises what looks like a leash. A chuckle emerges from beneath Vriedemann's hood. The chuckle becomes a guffaw, booming and hateful. Dallis flicks her wrist. And nothing happens.
Oh, Dallas. Sweet, simple Dallas.
How? What? The leash is cut!
A bright observation from a bilious imbecile. You know people often become sloppy when they're close to achieving their dream. You left the leashing wand next to me, you stupid maggot. So accustomed had you become to me, pretending to be your slave.
Kill him!
Do shut up, you tedious buffoon, and don't look so surprised. As if I would allow a bone bag to enslave me. Me! Yes, I am the one true king of the source. He who shall be god of the source. It is time for my divinity! Or did you really think I'd play slavishly along with your ridiculous scheme, Dallas? Yes, I played my part of the servile stooge. But know this. It was only about the power of divinity.
Kill him now.
Too late, you mouldering, blight-stained pigs. Grant me power, my ally. God King, I call on you! The God King hears my call. He sends a companion worthy of my power. Come to your father. Come to the Source King.
Arrakis Rex, the Source King of Legend, lies dead once more, perhaps even for good. Dallas, badly weakened, looks to you.
The future of all that is depends on you, and you alone.
After all that you have been through, and all that you have done, all that you have become, the Aetheran lies in front of you. Divinity is yours to take, or to sacrifice. What you do next decides your own fate and the future of the world. What shall you do with divinity?
And so it ended. A tale that began with my own ill-fated attempt to rid the world of the Godwoken. Dallas the Hammer, the secret eternal, purged the Godwoken and used the Source to close the veil to the void. The world was saved. Statues in memory of the Godwoken who sacrificed their Source were erected all across Ривеллон. They would never be forgotten. The half-demon Malady took pity on the soulless, God-woken silent monks and brought them to the Hall of Echoes. There, from the scraps of their souls that remained, she restored them to life. Sorcerers no more, they lived out the rest of their lives, freed of the burden of being the God-woken, freed from the weight of the world. As for me, I was already free, and so were the others. The God-woken sacrifice severed the bond between the Sworn and the God-King. To atone for my sins, I spent the rest of my days taking care of the sick and elderly, telling the story of the God-woken, that the world may never forget the greatest heroes Ривеллон had ever known.
Malady stands tall and proud, sunlight sparkling off her mask. From here she looks almost angelic.
Ah, there you are. More than a silent monstrosity, less than a god. In the end, I'm not totally convinced it was worth my while to restore your consciousness, seeing what you've done with it so far. Where did I go wrong? Unfortunately for me, I've grown rather fond of you. Still, I'd expected quite a bit more from you. I was interested in being owed a favor by a shiny new god, not some emperor of the realm. Never mind. I'll find another way. I always do.
She fingers the mask, covering her face. For a moment, it seems as though she's about to remove it, but instead, she places a hand on your shoulder.
We've come a long way together. I did my best by you all the way. Sacrificed much. And I'd have given even more to see you fulfill your destiny.
She looks you up and down.
I guess this will have to do. Take a moment, why don't you? Relax. Enjoy. I certainly plan to do the same. The same way I do everything, of course. Demonic guile. Oh, I don't know. Around and about. Treat myself to some mead, a level 300. I'd say we've earned it. Perhaps our paths will cross again. Perhaps not. Until we find out.
So, that's it. We're gone. The world is yours now. I pray you'll treat it better than we did.
I always thought that those who resorted to self-sacrifice were lacking in imagination. I must admit, that was rather noble of you. A world without source is one that will need individuals of wit and intellect. A sharp mind is the only magic now. I believe I shall enjoy this new world very much. That is the question, isn't it? How does one top the greatest feat of necromancy ever conceived? I might have the answer to that. Tell me, have you ever heard of Gustafsson? No, of course you wouldn't. It's a written language, unreadable to most, but myself naturally. It comes from a mysterious race from another world, beings that feed on minds. I intend to seek them out. This Gustafsson seems to guard portals to their realm. And once I've uncovered one, well, why settle for being the greatest mind in just one world, when there's another for the taking?
There's nothing interesting down there. The future lies above.
If you'll excuse me, darling, I have quite a bit of...
Well, look what the cat dragged in. A silent monk. At least that's what you would be if it weren't for Malibu. To be fair, you are barely more powerful than one, now that the source has been ripped from you, and even more ripped from me.
Okay? You don't look okay.
Lucy looks at you intently, as though searching for defects. A slight grin crosses the...
It gives me almost as much pleasure to speak to you as it does to be whole again. I will always be an ally to those that carry swords, to those whose blood is of the heroes of old, and so, as always, I am at the ready.
You look out to the endless beyond. The sun's light plays upon the waves, just as it always did. The sails flutter in the wind, just as they always will. And yet, something is different. You are different. And with a start, you realize where you must go next. You speak the command to the Lady Vengeance, and another chapter begins. At last, the world was at peace. The ancient lizard empire opened its gates.
The houses disbanded, and the Empire adopted a pluralist quasi-democracy. Anyone could vote for whoever they pleased, as long as the House of Shadows approved. Justinia returned to her throne. Under her rule, the Dwarven kingdom prospered, until 2 years later, a jealous lover stabbed her in the heart with a mutton fork. Lucian made amends to the elves. He gave them lands and vast riches from the coffers of the old divine order. But the elves never forgave him. They would not trust humans again. And in a dark forest on the far side of a desert, well beyond the high seas, the Black Ring came together once more. The island of Fort Joy, the old redoubt of the Source King Brachus Rex, was turned over to the people of Driftwood to use as they wished. They turned it into a holiday resort. Reaper's Coast prospered. The fisheries returned, and the fertile farmlands produced the greatest harvests the surviving farmers had ever seen. Blood Moon Island became particularly fecund, its soil producing the greatest crops. A particularly crimson-fleshed orange grown on the island became a delicacy across half the world. The black pits took fire. The oil there burns still. Driftwood became a centre of industry, trade, and transport. The nameless isle had vanished. Although only open water remained, by instinct ships would steer clear. None of the captains could articulate why. Young Han went into the theatre and became one of the realm's most popular actors. With no new divine, Malady found herself in a predicament. She had an important problem to solve, but no ally strong enough to call upon, and so her search continued. Having performed the greatest act of necromancy in history, Tarquin found the new world unchallenging. He became obsessed with rumors of another plane of existence. One day he vanished and was never seen again. With Amadia silent, the priestess Gratiana left the swamps and re-entered the world. She founded an abbey in the Dragonspine Mountains, offering the last of the undead shelter from fortune hunters, novelty seekers, and ghouls. Jehan the demon hunter found himself at a loose end, so he opened a museum of demonic artifacts. He made a fortune. Lucian returned as divine, united the races, and became Lord Emperor of all Ривеллон. Only Dallis knew that he was entirely powerless. Dallis and you. The Eternal, now known as Dallis, was a secret advisor to Lucian and to his successors. For eons she would walk in the world, and would outlive the peoples and all, and wander alone amongst the dying stars. And then there was you. You returned to the world as one more human among many. Your future was yours to decide. Did you accept your new status with humility, or did you rebel? Only you know the truth. Only you know if you atone for your sins.